So, tell us a little bit about your project. What was the overall story? When did you start?
Well, the story is it's a pretty much a murder mystery that I began. I first got tipped off to it last year, I think in October. So that was like 12, 13 months ago. And basically, it's about a man who is facing a murder trial that just got postponed till September 2013, but it was supposed to be on the 26th of November. His name is Greg Wallen Jr. He's 40. Basically, he was arrested in '94 on a 15-year cold case of a heinous murder of a little girl and sexual assault. They lived in the same apartment complex over there in the Central Valley, and she was disappeared one day, the day before Easter. The next day, her body was found in a dumpster, and police didn't catch up with him till 2009, and that happened in '94. And what the story was, a new element of the story that I wrote on Sunday is basically that there was this woman in San Bernardino, California, who is convinced that the guy who's facing the murder charge in Las Vegas killed her daughter when he was only 12 years old. She was found in a drainage ditch about a mile from their house in San Bernardino, California, on July 12th, 1985. She was 6 years old, and the drainage ditch was only 18 inches of water, and she's 3'9". So basically, police investigated it, and they theorized that she fell, hit her head, and drowned in this drainage ditch. But while talking to her, the mom kept all the police reports that San Bernardino police said they discarded, got rid of, and pretty much he was a central figure in this investigation in San Bernardino that went on for 10 months. But they cleared him and said he had nothing to do with this. But when you add, the Las Vegas murder, that would be 20, when he was in his 20s in 1994, plus the fact that in '85 he was alleged to have, sexually assaulted and choked a few neighborhood girls. This was all documented in lawsuits and on police reports. Then there is a lot of suspicion in terms of whether or not Greg Wallen Jr. actually killed a child when he was himself a child.
What was the most difficult part of the story? Obviously, it took almost a year for it to publish.
Right, right. Well, I mean, it took a year because we were waiting for to publish it right before the possible trial date. So that's why it took so long. But the most difficult thing really was that um, in with it was pretty much rifling through the files that the mom gave me. There were 700 pages of police reports, depositions, lawsuits, and trying to make sense of it all. I'm not the most organized person, but for this project, I really had to be organized and, put, the similar files in areas where I knew where to get them, and, highlight the important details that I thought were going to come into the story. So it was a very long process. The writing process was also long. When I was working with editors, the first thing they told me was write everything you have, and my first copy, first rough draft was 150 inches, which was more than double what ran in the paper. So, getting it down, was difficult, and I was really attached to everything, so it was difficult to cut as well.
Um, Describe, the days just before the report came out.
I was very nervous. I had never done a project of this magnitude in terms of size and scope, and number of facts and everything. And luckily enough, the editors gave me a few days prior to this running where I had to go recheck everything I'd already reported and add some stuff. But I was working, pretty much for the last 2 weeks, anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day. And at one point, I did work 7 hours a week. But I knew I had to. I knew that's what it took, and I was happy with how it came out. But it was very nerve-wracking.
Has this changed maybe the way you look at journalism, or, has it, I guess, been an important step in your career?
Oh yeah, I definitely think this is the best work that I've ever done. Like I said, I've never done a project of this magnitude, and it has changed my perception of journalism. This is the kind of journalism that I've wanted to do, since I became a journalist. And now that I know I can do it, I want to do more of it. So, these big projects where there's a lot of investigative stuff to do, a lot of digging to do, I want to do more of that. And I can say it was, although very nerve-wracking, it was fun.
What was it like to see it in print?
I was happy. Took a long time. Like I said, I spent many weekends on it when I wasn't even at work, and just to know that it came out, and the overall package, the layout, the pictures, the video, we shot video with it. I was very happy with the way it turned out, and I did get pretty good feedback on it. So it was great.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tony.